Good morning, Heidi Foy with Bullfrog Creative. Thank you guys for joining us. Listen, I know we are a little early to the NFR show, but we're really not because there's already things going on in Vegas. There's already stuff happening. Last night was the back number ceremony. They got their jackets last night, all the good things. So listen, we already have stories to tell. We already have things happening on the ground. So you guys are not going to want to miss today. So let's see. And you can tell I'm a little out of practice for production because I've not pushed all the buttons I need to yet. Jim Boy is running a little late. So let me add in Tony Branquinho. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back this year.
Good morning. It is great to be back. I'm excited about the NFR Hangover Show Season 3 to be part of this. We're going to have a good time this year. And Jim Boy, like in true Jim Boy fashion, is late. He is late.
Listen, he's got I don't know if it's a good excuse, but he's got one.
Jim Boy always has an excuse, and he makes it good no matter how bad it is. He makes the excuse good. So
yeah, this is what happens when part of us, let's see, now we've got some, sorry. We've got some issues on one of our platforms, but I think we're doing good. So this is what happens when one of us is in Vegas. It's always a little questionable at the beginning.
Yeah, that's probably a good reason why all three of us can't be in Vegas at one time because the show might not go off. So, I see him. He's here.
Him. All right. Sorry, I got to do some production stuff. Okay, day one, yay. All right, Jim Boy, I'm hesitant to add you into the stream, but I'm going to. Are you ready?
I'm good.
So before we add our guest in, I do want to give a shout out. Jim Boy, thank you so much for joining us from Vegas. Want to give a shout out to one of our primary sponsors, and that is Cinch Jeans and Shirts. They are making us look good. Well, I mean, the best they can. They've got a tough crowd here. They do the best they can to make us look good. So we definitely give a shout out to them. We have lots of stories to talk about. I know one of them being our new kind of addition to this platform, not new to the rodeo world, but new to our platform, is our ProFantasy League. So before we add in our guest, I want to talk about our league. We have the NFR Hangover League. If you guys are planning to make a team, your fantasy team for the NFR, pay that little bit of extra money and get in our NFR League, NFR Hangover League, because we are going to have some go-round awards to give out, courtesy of Cinch Jeans. I actually have an opportunity to go to the outlet in a couple weeks, so I'm going to just snag all the things that I can. If we're lucky, I can actually get the size that you need, so there's that. Yeah, so get in our league. I know everybody has a league, but I can guarantee you ours is going to be at least the funnest.
It's going to be the funnest, and if you lose, you don't have to get a tattoo. So that's a positive on our side. Except Jim, he's got to get a tattoo.
No matter if he wins or loses, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
All right, Jim Boy, check in with you before we add our special guest today. How are you doing today?
Good.
I mean, you're here, so that's helpful.
Barely.
We do have a message, Cody Morris. Yes, it is in ProFantasy League. So ProFantasy Rodeo, I will post the league code. Let's see.
You can post it, and I'll give it to him right now. So, Cody, the league code is L94860, and Heidi just posted it. You guys join. We've got 8 so far. We're 2 away from being eligible to give the buckle. And we're going to have 10, so we want to get as many as we can. We're going to give those Cinch go-round awards. It's going to be a great deal, so make sure you join.
Anyway. I'm starting to second guess my team, which I feel like I shouldn't. I should just hit submit and walk away and don't look back. But I imagine that happens a million times between now and when it's set.
Well, since we're speaking on Pro Fantasy, I think we should bring our guest in, don't you? I think it's time we bring in the man that the man that came up with this idea.
Yeah, Mr. Casey Jones.
Mr. Casey Jones.
Okay, he was hard at work this morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning in Vegas. I feel like we have it easy with a 9, and you guys are like just rolling out of bed, I think. Well, you might not be.
I think I got to bed before Jim Boy did.
I think a lot of people in Vegas got to bed before Jim Boy did yet last night.
This is what
Maybe this
happens
guy
when
right
Jim
back
is
here. This guy.
Hey, Casey, thank you for joining us this morning. We know, I mean, you are busy out there. You have been in Vegas for a long time. Pro Fantasy Rodeo Vegas. What you have done to bring the fan experience to the next level for rodeo spectators and fans is amazing. But not only that, I mean, you've been on the dirt at the Thomas and Mack 9 times. So you've been part of the NFR in Las Vegas from every aspect of it. And we just appreciate you taking time out this morning and joining us here on the NFR Hangover Show as we get ready to kick off the 2022 National Finals Rodeo.
Awesome. Yeah, I love what you guys do. Anytime, I love people that promote rodeo, and provide attachment points and to be able to tell stories and that gets more people like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to pay attention more. And so then pretty soon, and that's what, we're pretty proud about Pro Fantasy over the years is, Gail answered the phone and we get the calls, and one time would be a guy calling and said, what's saddle bronc riding? And then, he'll call back to the office or, he'll keep calling the phone all through the year, and pretty soon, like one of the boys in particular, exactly the same thing. He had race horses in Seattle, and he went to Ellensburg, and we got to know him a little bit there. I said, "Well, you need to get it. You need to get a fantasy team." And so he didn't understand. So he's like, "What saddle bronc riding?" So we coached him up, and he'd call the office and like, "What's what's the barrier?" And now he has season tickets to Ellensburg. He comes to Vegas for 10 nights. He buys 17 teams. Like he's in. So he saves all year long. He took all that money he used to bet on horses and he puts it into rodeo. And so now he'll call us and say, like, how come Cody Wright's not winning? I'm like, Jimbo, he hasn't rodeoed for a while, But that's what we really love because we can really see how much it helps rodeo and just like horse racing, when you have a vested interest, you have skin in the game and you're going to pay attention, just like betting on football. But this is our 19th year, which is crazy. We partnered with Teton Ridge, and now we're having more games this year. We're going to have we had the breakaway game closed yesterday. They run 5 rounds at the South Point. It was like a shocker, like Martha Angelo. I don't know if they can catch her, but she missed like 3 calves, maybe.
Yeah, she did not have a good day yesterday.
Yeah, that's nuts. But she might have a big enough lead to. But like if you look at the times, it's close. It's close. So we have 5 more rounds today. Then we pay out the breakaway. Our big game closes. The first chute opens. The buck and chute. First bareback rider. Your entry's closed, and that's your team for all 10 nights. You can buy any time, and you can always go in there and edit your team around. And then the next day, we're going to start doing a daily fantasy. And so you can pick a team every day, a different team every day. And then like each day, like to win it every day is like $3,500 and a buckle. And we pay down 10 monies. And then we've had fans in the past say, oh, my team's terrible. I want a new team. I want a new team. And so we come up with the final 5 fantasy. So the last 5 rounds, we're going to have a whole new game, 120,000 at 120,000 cash. And so it's $54.95, and we pay out like 25,000 the winner, 20,000 for second, 15,000 on down. So we're just you get your team and go out with a bang. Halftime.
This halftime.
Yeah, halftime. You start over.
You know what? That's awesome, and I think with Pro Fantasy, what you guys have done is you're bringing new fans, new people that just on the fringe of what rodeo is. Now they have a vested interest. That's had to help the viewer ratings because people are watching. They're watching till the end because they want to know what that bull rider did. They don't want to wait to see it posted. They want to see what happens. So, like I say, what you've done in the last 19 years with Pro Fantasy is amazing because it's created a whole new fan base, I think, of people that were just kind of on the fringe, and now they have a vested interest, and they're learning about the sport and learning what it takes to be a rodeo athlete, what it takes to keep the stock, and understand that this is a livelihood and a business, and it's about taking care of the animals. It's just opened so many doors because of Pro Fantasy Rodeo into the backstory of rodeo, and it's exciting to see what you and Gail have done with this.
And it's kind of, and we appreciate it, but it's kind of fun because 19 years now, it's kind of culture. Like,
Yeah.
you have a team and you've been in the league before, you don't want to miss out because you miss out on the shit talking. You miss out, and so it's culture now. And so like we set up a league for like all the people, all the sound guys and the video guys and kind of the contract personnel at NFR. So they have like 50, playing against each other, and they talk crap like you wouldn't believe, And so it just, it makes, kind of gives you, a reason to pay attention and a reason to, be vested with, have skin in the game. But it's been fun.
Well, tell us a little bit about Rodeo Vegas too, because I know that. I mean, I remember when you started that, and it just seems like it has taken a hold, and it's another avenue to just drive the fans to rodeo and give them something. Just give them. It's just a great experience.
Yeah, it's 19 years too. It's the same time we come out with Pro Fantasy. So the reason I kind of started was like I was just a farm kid from Southeast Colorado and didn't have 2 cents to rub together when I got to Vegas, and made the first finals. And we go to the kind of the rodeo party was at the Gold Coast, and it's great. It's packed, and like it's like an old school Wild West hoedown. Smoky, and and I always thought Vegas is the Strip. It's cool, we want to be. And so I was like, I want to create a rodeo party, but actually have the rodeo they can watch the rodeo in the casino. We have everything there. We have sponsors, we have prizes, we have announcers, MC, but then you can watch it on the road on the big screen, and then have incentives for the contestants to come after the rodeo, so the fans know that that's where the contestants go. And so we come up with the Rodeo Vegas jacket, which the sponsors get more exposure, and then we come up with sponsor deliverables, and then they get, so it's basically sponsors of the rodeo. And so yeah, it was crazy when we first started. It was at TI, and then and now we have live entertainment, and we give away a saddle every night if the contestants show up with their Rodeo Vegas jacket, they're entered into the drawing, and then we draw a saddle every night. So we've given over 1,800 saddles away to contestants. Wow. I don't know how many jackets. Yeah,
I've tried to steal 1 or 2 of Luke's jackets, but now they're too big, so I told him I don't want them anymore since he's a fat Branquinho now. So
right, but that's been fun. This year's going to be cool. We got so this is crazy. So like last year, a little inside Vegas information. So last year, I kind of knew about it because just dealing business out here, but knew the Seminoles were buying the Mirage. And so it wasn't until after the finals that they said that Hard Rock's going to buy the Mirage. And so this year it was tough getting this event planned because they didn't know with the due diligence whether the Hard Rock was going to own it or whether the MGM corporation that owns Mirage was going to own it. And so it's kind of a weird dynamic, but it's going to be the Mirage for a couple more years. The Hard Rock's actually going to take the keys December 19th, but they're already moved the Dolphins out, and they're sinking $2 billion in a renovation here. And
wow.
So I just learned yesterday in a leadership meeting with them that there's going to take out the volcano, and there's going to be a guitar, like a Hard Rock guitar. It's going to be the tallest tallest building in Vegas. Like,
oh, wow.
600 feet tall or something like that. But like, it's going to take a year of drawings before they even have the construction plans done to do what they're going to do. And so, and then like in Hard Rock probably open up in 2025. But I think, like with being out here for 19 years, it's crazy the turnover and like everything that happens. But like kind of there's more properties opening up north, like Fontainebleau, Resorts World's getting, has a lot of traffic up there. But yeah, it's crazy over the years. You see the turnover and see the dynamics change in Vegas. But yeah, so like this was the last year on the contract at the Mirage, and so we don't know where we're going to move, but we're going to make sure we're going to have it somewhere where we could. Last night, the contestants come over and got the Rodeo Vegas jacket. I guess the buzz over. Well, some of it they come back. The contestants come back and kind of catch me up on the rodeo rumors, And I guess
do share.
Yeah, like Rocker Steiner, being a Steiner, he kind of come out. They called Casey Field. He cut in front of him and come out before him, and then screwed the whole deal up because they didn't have the script, and they didn't. And so what else happened? There was and so when they go over there, and I guess they change up the program because usually they go back there and they get all their presents, and then they go on stage and they come over here. Well, then I guess they had they had a bigger pre-show or something like that. So if you let the Bulldoggers and all the contestants on free beer by the time they get over here, they're a little wild, and then we have free drinks here for till about 11 or 12, and so it's kind of a fun night because it's crazy hard to make the finals. It's tough. It's a grind. It's a sprint, but a sprint is a marathon. It never ends. And so when the contestants get here and there's 29,000, for a go-round win, it's business, and so a lot of them don't want to party or but like last night's fun because they have a night to get over their hangover, and then game day Thursday, rock and roll, and so last night, and it's like what we do here with the jacket giveaway. We don't market it or show the fans or even let anybody know. So the contestants kind of just come out and hang out and kind of just with their peers, and get ready to rodeo, but at the same time they get. There's a lot of hungover contestants this morning.
It's essentially the calm before the storm.
Yes. Yeah.
They kind of can decompress. We're here. We're all checked in. Now here's our chance to just go, like I say, let our hair down, relax, and we have a day to recover, and then game time come Thursday. So. Yeah. So yesterday the contestants, they threw all the steers down, and the team ropers, they run all the steers. Said the team roping steers are really good, a little bit heavy. Most team ropers thought they were really good. Bulldogging steers, they said they about every herd. There's 3 herds. There's Honeys, J.J. Millers, and Mundorf. And they said because like every year when you throw all the steers down of the 3 stock contractors, the contestants after we throw them down or they throw them down, you get together and you vote on which herd goes 4 times. And they said about every herd was just a little. Like they seemed a little old. They wouldn't finish the corner, kind of just, died off. But, run them horseback, they're going to be great. And they voted Honeys to go 4 times. So they'll start off with Honeys and then go at JJ or Mundorf. And then said the calves were good. But then today, when they're NFR Hangover, they go out there and they do the grand entry practice. Oh.
They gotta do all the, yeah. And I've got some good stories in the past. Jesse Bell one year, it doesn't matter what night, it's not on Tuesday. It's Tuesday through Sunday. So I'd always put him on the Rodeo Vegas team, and I'd get his credit card, his room key. I'd go wake him up to go to the perf every day. When he made Vegas, he was a cowboy. He didn't leave anything on the table. And
that's like the old school cowboy.
Oh, one year they were coming out. So the grand entry practice is a shit show, right? Because some of them are stock contracting, and like the first year I made it, I was Mike Jones. He's just a cowboy up there in Kansas as a haze for me the first year, and I didn't know. I'm just a farm kid from Southeast Colorado. He's like, we'll just take this horse for the grand entry, All right. So his name was Cowboy, 4-year-old, good looking, broke, never been to Vegas, I don't know if he's ever been out of Medicine Lodge, Kansas. So in the grand entry practice, so you go in there, and you get in line, and then they coach you up. You do about 3 or 4 runs before they say, okay, everybody's got it, and you can go put your horses up, come back and do group pictures. And so with the 3 or 4 practice runs, you all line up, and then they tell you got to go a certain speed, and then when you turn in space, you got to match up with somebody, so you're going out, in tandem. And but by the fourth run, those horses know you back out of that, and then they tell you got to keep going up that ramp fast, so they don't back up in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hauling ass, right? And so you do that about 4 times on a 4-year-old. He knows when he turns, he gets to haul ass. And it's I mean, like not a lot of the horses there, they'll anticipate it. If you watch the grand entry, they start, when can we go? And so my very first, and then Jim Boy knows Mensiks. Remember the Mensiks? Wayne Mensick? So that year I picked up or a couple years before that, I picked up at a rodeo for him. And they had an old horse called Old Henry that quit bucking, and he was the flag horse and pickup horse. And they had me go in their national finals or their Rocky Ford's rodeo for the national anthem, and I was holding the flag. Well, Old Henry just bears up, and starts bucking, and all I remember is Wayne saying, "Don't drop the flag." Well, my first national finals rodeo, and you can look it up in 2020 or 2002. On the DVD, you can see old cowboy. He turns, and he's fixing to go. Well, there's a barrel racer in front of me, so I had to get a little heavy in his head. And he just rears straight up. I'm holding the Colorado flag, so I won the most money, and I'm just nervous, farm kid at National Finals Rodeo, and cowboy's just reared straight up, and I'm trying not to run over this barrel racer, so he walks out on his back feet for like 4 strides, and all I can remember was Wayne Mensick, "Don't drop the flag." But yeah, the grand entries, it's fun. So that's what the contestants are doing today, and they're doing it on the Hangover because
that's
last night they were having a good time.
It's a good day for it.
I know. In talking with my brother, he said, everybody thinks bull riding's the hardest event at the finals. He said the grand entry is the hardest event because that's where somebody's probably going to get hurt is in the grand entry because it's controlled chaos, but it's not controlled.
Yeah.
Well, we saw it last year.
Wade Sundell, when he got bucked off. Oh.
Yeah, Luke always played the I'm cool card and the doctor released out of there, so he didn't have to freeze. He just go back and wait for us to run back there, and we're out of breath because as soon as we're back in the Bulldog, and it's they have better back riding and they run those horses fast, and so we come out of the grand entry. We got to go tie up our grand entry horse, and then we run like on the ground. And Bulldoggers, that's not our forte. Don't run. And so by the time we get all the way to the other ramp to go down, like we're like, now we got a Bulldog, we don't have any air. Well, there's no Fatty, there's Luke. He's like, where you guys been?
I know one year we're all sitting there in the stands getting ready, he's going to carry the flag. And this is towards the end of, this is probably 2012 or 10 or 11, 12. No Luke. And then all of a sudden there's a picture. He sends us a picture of him with Shania Twain who did the opening or whatever. I'm like, so you opted out of carrying the flag? Well, it's Shania Twain. I want a picture. Okay.
I'd give him a hall pass on that.
Well, yeah, we gave him a hall pass, but I said every other night wasn't Shania Twain. Where were you? I was getting treatment.
Yeah.
Likely story.
Jim Boy, what are you going to do out here in Vegas? What do you got planned?
Well, I'm here at the convention. I brought my older boy Jalen out. He got his bullfighting card this year. So we came to the contract personnel and got a booth, and
nice.
We sat here yesterday and watched a lot of committees walk by, and nobody talked to us, and he was pretty dejected. But I told him, I said, don't come out here thinking you're going to go home with, Cheyenne, Houston, all the big ones. I said, it'll take
You got to start somewhere.
Go ahead.
I just said you got to start somewhere.
Well, we had a booth out here for that many years, and so we have some pretty good tricks to get them to stop and look. So let me know. One of them was, you remember you can print these little dollars. They look real, and on the back of it has your, buy it.
Your face.
So you just throw them out there on the ground. They stop and might start a conversation. Tripwire works very good too.
I
And
remember
you're walking around there, you have another guy over on the other side of the booth, and you pull it tight.
Oh, are you okay?
The first year you did it, could you enter online, or did we do it all on paper?
Yes. No. That's the reason we kind of started, because we kind of did it there in Southeast Colorado. And we thought, well, if we get it on the internet, 'cause we got the internet now, we'll get more people, and then more people could, put in their money and we'd win more. Well, our market, and just at the time, we were started in 2003. And so the iPhone didn't come out till 2009, something like that. Smartphone.
Yeah.
But even like back then, nobody would run a credit card online. Oh, hell no, I ain't putting a credit card. There's no way. So we had most of them, we'd have an entry form, we'd fill out, they'd write a check, and like we still get them. And like when we partnered with Teton Ridge, we're trying to maximize, kind of the flow of the business. They're like, well, I don't know if we should take mail-in entries. I'm like, I'm not telling that lady in Kansas that's 93 that's played the last 19 years that we're not taking her team.
Yeah.
I think this Conrad Sutton, he played from day one, and you could barely read his writing, but he gets his entry form, he fills it out, and he mails it in with his check, and he scratches his name. And I think he's a 1928 model or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Like that that's something that we look forward to every year, and they watch every night, and they got their team, and we still get a ton of mail-in entries, just because our older, players that I don't know, they picked up somewhere along the line to pick up a team, that they still scratch their team out and send a check. We're going to rodeo.
So how many total teams will you have? I mean, how many did you have last year?
I can't remember how many, and like with our new partnership, we have an NDA. We're not supposed to say anything, but,
right.
For example, with the Breakaway Fantasy, we made a little bit of money because we paid out $12,000, and that's what's tough about fantasy. We have to guarantee all these prizes. And
no matter how many teams.
Yeah, we have to guarantee, and we have to pay them out whether we get 5 entries or 500. And so it's always kind of a risk. And that's kind of what, with our new partners, now we can do more games because it's not Gail and I. They're not going to come take our truck, we don't get the entries. So it's exciting to work with that team. They have some really, really talented individuals. They have some big goals in our industry, and they kind of come after me, and I was like, I got a pretty good gig. I don't have, and they kind of talked me into it, and I learned so much been working with them since February, and really believe in their vision, really believe in the owner, the founder. And so I'm like, all right. Because when we first heard about, Teton Ridge coming on, there's a lot of gossip out there and stuff like that.
There was.
Yeah. And so and I'm a nerd, I use Google, I'm going to find out. I'm going to do my own research, in the nerd term, it's called DYOR, do your own research. And so I did a deep dive, and found out, a lot of what I wanted to make me feel good about it. And then just once I kind of got in and figured out, what the overall mission and the plan and their vision, I was like, that's what I'm all about. I want to promote cowboys everywhere. I want, and that's what Teton Ridge really wants to do, is we want to take rodeo, we want to take cowboy cool to the concrete. We want, kids in Chicago, wanting to be a cowboy because it's cool what we have here. We just need to let everybody know. And even the Yellowstone effect, what we have going on now, everybody's like, it's cool. And so let's get that even, broader, get more people wanting to be cowboys.
Do you need to go?
Yeah.
15 minutes. How about 15 minutes?
I didn't want to make you late to your meeting.
Yeah, they could miss. Or they probably wouldn't miss me anyway.
Just send Brady.
Yeah, they're ready to jump in and tell you some stories about last night too.
And don't corrupt Logan.
Caleb's been doing good. Yeah, and he might have a little surprise to tell you when he's on here. Caleb? No, he's coached up, like he's pretty sharp. Like, because we have a call tree, and so with the phone entries, Gail gets it, and then we have a guy that we've had for several years. He's really good at customer service. Our players love him. He's second, and then now it goes to Caleb, and then it goes to Sierra, and then the last one it goes to is Brady. So like he's way down there
in training.
Kenny Kyle's below him, but because we want to, like I hate calling customer service and getting a busy signal or we're not there, and so we try to have enough on the call tree to make sure if you don't get it and somebody gets off the phone, you call that number back because it shows up on our cell phone, so we call it right back because it's how it is, and customer service is kind of going away,
Yeah. So I'm interested in Teton Ridge. I mean, I think they have like the same as you. There was a lot of things going around about Teton Ridge. I mean, what can you share about the company, about
so
their direction?
What my own research, and then I was able to talk to our shareholder and like bought in, like because like I wanted to create a T-shirt out here in Vegas, like Teton Ridge. We are not Yellowstone. We didn't buy the 4 6s. We are not a Chinese company. What was the other one? There's another one. What was it? Because you hear all the rumors, And so Thomas he grew up with single mom, and he just, a true American that really, really works hard, and he's sharp. And he when he told me every day he walked to school there was a mechanic shop, and then when he graduated high school, this old boy was kind of wanting to get out of business, so he built it, and then kind of built the business up, and then flipped it, and then he got into laundromats, bought a laundromat by his house, and then kind of figured out how to make better money and more efficiently and run leaner, and so he bought a couple more laundromats, and then he had a whole bunch of laundromats. And so one of his unique strengths is he sees an industry, he sees business opportunity, and he dives in there and finds out how to make it more efficient by adding technology, make it run cheaper, to make it better. And then like with Legendary Pictures, so he started Legendary Pictures, and one of his biggest there's no Bill, no bull fick. So with the charity sponsor league we're doing this year, so we're matching industry related businesses, that supported cowboys and stuff like that. So we're doing a league just for them. So they add 500, and then Billy says, I don't get on a computer. Can you just take my, he says, I don't have an email. I'll call you with the team. So he's got his team ready. But what's cool about the charity sponsor league is everybody's going to throw in 500, and then Teton Ridge is going to match up at 25,000. And so whatever charity, whatever business wins, their charity gets all the money. But go back to Teton Ridge. So he figured out a new way to finance movies in Hollywood. And so he created Legendary Pictures, and he did the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman and the Hangover series. He created those. Hangover, or the Jurassic World, with all the animation and the computer science. So that's one really big strength that he brought to Hollywood with technology and how the digital stuff, and he goes and finds the best in the industry and tells them to, go do it. He's not a micromanager. He's just like, here, you find the best people and let them run. And then he kind of, I don't know, really share this, but he told me he was a little sick with Hollywood and kind of how they handle him, and so he's like, he sold it. And then, because like when I told him, the current narrative, he's like, I'm opposite, and one of the cool companies he has is called Build Back America. And he wanted to take a lot of this, the products that we have now that are made offshore just due to, financial, reasons. And he wants to bring a lot of those companies and really build back a lot of the business that's going to be in the U.S. He's got some cool companies because I'm just a nerd, and he's got some AI companies, and we've been working with the Department of Defense on some stuff, and just American, and like that's what's he told me like he was always wanted to be a cowboy, and and so then like with the Yellowstone Effect kind of and he was buddies with Taylor Sheridan, so he's like, yeah, this is cool, I'm gonna get in here, and then like everybody needs to be a cowboy, and so they bought. He really got interested early in the reiners and the performance horses, and they have a ranch there in Weatherford, and so they have 3 outstanding riders. 4, Corey Cushing, and he's just the greatest guy. Like he can do it too. Like he's won the working cow horse, and so they built them arenas and barns to train, and then Teton Ridge has a breeding program now with some really, really good athletes. And so that's one of the verticals. And another vertical is going to be entertainment, to where they're like the Guts and Glory reality show, and then creating Western content to kind of bring people into our industry.
Well, and it seems like authentic Western content, not. I mean, listen, we watch Yellowstone, but there's a lot of that's not real.
Yeah.
So it's great. Bess Dutton's my spirit animal, but I think what I've seen is more authentic Western content. I mean, maybe you guys would agree. I think it's one thing to like bring the agriculture industry and the Western industry to the front of, people that don't have an opportunity to see it, but it's a completely different story when it's real, when it's the true authentic life and not just Hollywood, whatever's going to sell.
Yeah.
What? You just had a comment. What? That's not real?
And it's really getting the right advice from the endemic market, right? The endemic crowd or people that rodeo are true cowboys. And so some of the, because they have, like here's a whiteboard of ideas, like what, we're going to go do something on the Black cowboy history, and and like who's your legends of the past, and you could really, that really has, a lot of characters that people will be attached to, and find value with. And then there's a sports vertical, and that's, creating Western sports to a more mainstream. So like with the regional finals, so like there's been a big disconnect this year with how to qualify for the American. It's a little confusing, and they're going to kind of clean it up next year, but it's already kind of set in stone. Yeah. But they're going to have the regional finals at Heber City, Utah, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Lexington, Kentucky. Well, they're 180,000 just to win at those events, and then those events are actually going to be shown on TBS, and like they're going to produce them like Hollywood. So it's going to be awesome. And then the American is going to be 6. So like because like I was, I bulldogged at AT&T is pretty cool, and so when they talked about, Globe Life's giving us a heck of a deal. And so we met the people that run the Globe Life, and they're awesome. And they love rodeo, and they want to have a rodeo there every week. I'm like, well, that's the guys we should work with. Yeah. AT&T don't give a crap if we're there. They just want the money. These guys want to, promote us. They want to go to other rodeos and help us promote, That's the guys. And so it's pretty exciting because that's a heck of a venue. But they have – so we're going to start off on Wednesday with the wild card, and then the contender finals, which is going to be basically the semifinals that they had at the Cowtown. And then Friday night's going to be the American Performance Horse. And then Saturday, I don't know if it's announced or not, but
it is now.
I'll sneak it out. Yeah, Kojo is going to be playing for the American.
No, it got out. I don't know if he was going to play, but it was out because, of course, Luke's strumming a guitar, telling how he's
that's right.
making his career change, and that really worried me because his musical talent is the worst in the families, and none of us have any. But then he said, Cody Johnson's going to be the musical talent, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so and then it's going to Western weekend, and that's one of the things we're going to give away with our daily fantasy. So if you buy a big game, the daily fantasy is going to be $14.95 every day to get a new team and play for that cash and the $3,500 and the buckle every day. but then the highest score. So like Jim Boy, he comes in, his team on Friday wins 800,000, and Tony's team on Saturday wins 900,000. You're currently in the lead for the grand prize. So it's the highest score.
It just the highest score out of all daily games through the whole 10 days.
So because like I don't like doing the aggregate because like people, if they find out about the game at the end, they're like, well, there's no way I can catch up. But yeah, doing it by the highest score, you have a chance to knock off the winner the last day.
You can come in last day, play 10th round, and win the grand prize.
Yep. And so if you buy a big game, the 10-day game that's closing, December 1st, you get your daily games for $10. You get $5 off every day. And then the grand prize is going to be a trip to the American, airfare for 2. You get to stay at the Lowe's, which is not cheap, for 4 nights. Tickets every night to the American, and then a Polaris Ranger it's pretty cool. We already have it wrapped with the American logo on it and stuff, kind of like the contestants win. But and then I think they have merch pack, and so that's the grand prize for the daily fantasy. So yeah, the American is going to be pretty fun this year because it's going to be a Western weekend. You come down and 4 days, and they're going to blow it out. Very
cool. So I'm kind of supposed to be the timekeeper and make sure you're not late to wherever you need to go.
I better run. Do you want to? Are you guys going to wrap it up, or Brady?
Well, I know we got one more thing to talk about. We got to talk about 16 bull riders, that's for sure. So
probably Jim Boy knows the inside on that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Casey,
on fantasy, we've had it happen before, and we've always had it to where we only take the top 15.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter if the PRC says we're taking 35 this year, too bad. We're taking the top 15. And so he won't be available for anybody to put on their team. And if he wins anything, none of his money's going to be counted on anybody's team. So we wish him the best. And during the circumstances, I understand he should have been the 15th one, or been in from the start. But we're just not going to have him available to pick, and none of his money's going to count. And so, if he wins the 29,000 in the first night, it just will be out of the pool.
It's just out of the pot.
Yeah.
Well, we know you got to go, Casey. Thank you for taking time and joining us here on the NFR Hangover Show. I'm excited to see what you're doing with partnering with Teton Ridge, because I think Teton Ridge is the shot in the arm that our industry needed. It's kind of breaking up a little monopoly that has been in our industry for a while, and what you guys are doing. I saw Kendra Santos post last night about Teton Ridge Plus. I went and joined last night because
awesome. Yeah.
I think everything you guys are doing is just going to advance and promote and be beneficial for the sport of rodeo, the Western lifestyle, and help continue to grow the legacy. So we appreciate you being on with us. And Jim Boy, thanks for reaching out to Casey and getting him here with us.
Sure.
No, maybe I'll have some jump back in later this week and inside rodeo stories.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I do have to let our viewers know that if you guys don't know, Casey went to college at the University of Wyoming, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Go Pokes.
Yeah, go Pokes. Go Pokes.
You got to get that in there.
Well, appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Casey. I want to talk about the Yellowstone deal, though. What I thought, BS, it's real because Rip is based off of Jim Boy Hash. I know that. He's a real life Rip right there on the screen.
Man, you guys, I don't know what's going on with our stream this morning, but it is awful. I've had to take us off and put us back on Facebook now twice.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been getting messages. They lost us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the time, a lot of places I went and worked, like on Yellowstone, when they ride out of the barn, they're going to whatever pasture, horseback. A lot of places I worked, we trailered to some of them pastures.
I was getting to say, I didn't need to ride 5-6 miles just to get there to push them to another pasture that's a half mile away. Oh. All right, Jim Boy.
Do you know the answer? Did you see the question a little bit ago that Amy Reed had?
I did. So I responded to her. You should still be able to add. My guess is you'll be able to add, just like Casey said, up through that first horse bucking out.
Yeah. Through the bear first chute opener for the bareback ride.
Yeah, Amy, if you have issues, just shoot me a message and I'll reach out to Casey. I got all the contacts now.
I love it. So on the Pro Fantasy, I got a breakaway team and I got whooped yesterday. I got smoked. But I let my daughter pick our team because she is the breakaway roper. And yet it's my fault that we didn't do very good.
Listen, I do have to say, Taylor Munsell, who was on the broadcast last year, she went out and did pretty dang good in that first round. But those times are amazing.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. She was 2-3 to win the first round. If you 3-1 won the last hole in round 1, 2-3 won last hole in round 2, 2-5 won last hole in round 3. Round 4, 2-4 was split. 6 was split. They were 2-3. And then round 5, let's see what was it? I got to find it. Larry D was 2-6 and won last hole. But here's the crazy thing. Shelby Beausoleil's winning the average 12-4 and 5 head. She had a phenomenal day yesterday. Katie Williams, 14-7 second. Third's Aaron Johnson with a barrier, 24-3. Larry D is fourth with 24-3. She had a barrier. Joey Williams is 30.6. I think she had 2 barriers. And then fourth is Taylor Munsell, 9-8 on 4 head. That's fourth place or fifth place, sixth place in the average right now is 1 calf down. I didn't get to see it because I had to go out and feed and blanket because it was cold. My daughter said, "Go ahead and do it, Dad." But Taylor roped. I didn't see it. Taylor roped her 5th calf. Kylie said she got a time, but then they said no time. Kylie looked at it, watched it on video, didn't see if it was an illegal catch or not, but we never heard why Taylor got a no time, so I'd be interested to know what happened in the 5th round. I'm going to go back and watch it today on the Wrangler Network.
Yeah, maybe we can reach out to her and find out what happened, what the deal was. Hey, Tony, did you see this?
Yeah, Keith. That's my man Keith Buckler up there, in Idaho. He's been a family friend for a long time, and he always thought I was pretty even when I was 400 pounds, but he really thinks I'm special now at 200 pounds less. So, no, Keith, I appreciate you being on that team. I got to give a shout out. I've got a buddy of mine out in Calabasas, California, Sean Fredericks. He is really getting into this rodeo lifestyle, and he's watching today. And we're reaching people that have never been in the Western world, and I've had people reaching out to me, texting me that same thing. The feed's down, but we're coming back on, and I'm excited where we're going to go with this show this year. And Jim Boy, once you get out of Vegas, I know you'll feel a lot better in the morning. So what's the scoop on the 16 bull riders? I know extenuating circumstances is what they posted on the PRCA website, but what's the extenuating circumstances?
All right. Well, number one, it has nothing to do with Sage Kinsey.
Right.
That was established long ago. Sage didn't go to enough rodeos. There is a minimum rodeo count. I don't know if a lot of people know that. There's a maximum, you can only count so many rodeos. But a lot of people don't know there's a minimum count. So even though you go to 20 big rodeos, you still have to, what's the minimum? Is it 40? I can't remember.
It's 40, and I read the article on Sage, and I don't know if the minimum is 40, but you have to go to a minimum of 40 to count your Extreme Bulls money. So I don't know if that's a minimum for what you have to go do or just for your Extreme Bulls money to roll in there. And I read Sage's article, and like Sage said, hey, if I'd have qualified, I'd have entered, but I probably wouldn't have been 100%. So yeah, that's like CJ just said. They have to go to 40 to count the Extreme Bull. So they pulled that money out of Sage's. It dropped him to 17. So yeah, that wasn't the extenuating.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, so Luke Casey Morris went to an Extreme Bulls in Evansville, Indiana. This was clear back in May. He was running late getting there. It was a 2-round bull ride, and I think there's only like 12 bull riders there. He was running late. He got a hold of the stock contractor, asked him to kind of hold his bull, and there's that brings in discussion. Can you hold a bull? Can you move something around? And there's different opinions. There's different rules there. And Extreme Bulls, I think, has some different rules from the actual rodeos. But so he was running late. I think they wound up turning his first bull out. He didn't get there in time for him, even though they kind of held him. They did an intermission type deal and some smoke and mirrors to make it last a little bit, I think. He gets there in time to get on the second one, and he is the only one to ride either one of them. He rides the second bull to win the second go-round. He's the only one that rode, so he won it. They paid him average money. This is where the confusion comes in. You're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to win average money if you don't compete on both animals.
Right.
So that's the money. That was the money that got him up in there. Then there's, and I'm Jimmy. Me and Jimmy, Casey's dad. We lived together. College. We've hung out too much together the last 2 nights.
We've been on the show before.
So, anyhow, he was telling me all about it. But so they had a hearing, and there was some rule interpretation problems. And Tony, you served on college board with me, and and people that are watching, if you've been on any board, I don't care if it's youth rodeo, high school, pre-RCA, there's going to be issues. And a lot of it is rule interpretations. And so there's some issues there with when did the go-round end? And in the hearing, it was pointed out that, they said, well, when the go-round was over, well, when's it over actually? Because they have intermissions during a go-round at times. And so there's some different rule interpretation into play. And they, as to whether the money should count or not, then they paid out some ground money, and then they took it back from some guys, I think. And do you know, there's the new rule that was supposed to come into effect this year, to where if everyone bucks off, and in the past they pay ground money. You say there's however many guys at a rodeo, and everyone backs off, then they all split the money in the pot. The new rule this year was supposed to be that money goes into escrow for that competition next year, for that rodeo or that Extreme Bulls next year.
It just rolls over.
Yeah, it just rolls over to the next year. So, there was some rodeos that happened this year where they didn't get a bull rode, so all that goes into the payoff for next year. Because as I was visiting with Matt Reeves here about it as well. He's on the board, and he says their opinion is you should not get paid for not doing your job. If you didn't get a bull rode, you shouldn't make any money off of it. So there's just they ended up being 2 hearings, I believe, and so lawyers got involved, and I'm sure I haven't talked to administration about it or anything really. I have visited with Matt, and a lot of people have a hard time with Matt, but he does a hell of a good job being a director. He might not be everybody's favorite, but he's not afraid to find out and ask questions and do what's needed. But so anyhow, basically, when Luke Casey got in, then Cole Fisher asked for a hearing, I believe, as well. And they'd already determined that Luke Casey was going to be in. Then I guess Cole proved the point that he should be here as well. So that's why he's here. It's
something similar must have happened to him.
Do what?
At some point, something similar must have happened to him where maybe he didn't get paid out, or I'm just guessing something similar with the payout.
Cole would have been here. Cole was in the top 15 if they didn't count that average money that they paid Luke Casey.
Got it.
So that just swapped one for the other in the top 15.
Yeah.
Well, I remember something happened. This was back in the 90s in the saddle bronc riding with Jeff Shearer, and they counted somebody's rodeo. The Cow Palace counted, but the other saddle bronc rider had gone over. But it was something. So Jeff was the 16th saddle bronc rider at the finals that year. So
It had steer wrestling too. You remember that? They took 16 one year. Leonard Harriga, I believe, so it was. That was back when you couldn't go to open rodeos. You couldn't accept money. You couldn't win money at an open rodeo back in the day. And he won some money at an open rodeo, qualified for the NFR. Then they tried telling him he couldn't come. He lawyered up, filed a suit for right to work, and won.
Ooh.
So that's that. They took 16 steer wrestlers that year.
Yep.
So anyhow, it's Jimmy was in my ear for 2 or 3 hours the other night here.
Oh, well, it sounds, thanks for, that right there, I wish the PRCA website would have explained it instead of just saying, because it left it didn't answer any questions, it just made people start making speculations. It's because of Sage Kimsey, this, and this. And that right there, at least put it out there, let us know what's going on, because there's us that are fans that want to know what's good, not just, unforeseen circumstances. Well, I should be there in the team roping for unforeseen circumstances. I didn't buy my card and didn't go to any rodeos, but I think I should get to rope there. Come on.
This has been in discussion for several months. This didn't just all kind of, it's been in lawyers' hands and, all sorts of different people, they've had hearings about it. I know I got to one of the college rodeos, and one of the judges there was one of the judges at that event, and he said he had been on a conference call all the way down there on the way to that rodeo, with the board and everyone involved and discussing it. It's one of them tough deals,
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess they'll have some revisions in the rule book on the wording, and that's Tony can tell you when I used to be in the NRA meetings.
Oh,
We would pass a rule, we'd do a rule change, whatever, and then we'd be like 2 rules down the line, and I'd be sitting there going, wait, can we go back to that one rule? And everybody like, Jim Boy, shut up.
No, but honestly, we'd have to go back, because after we passed it, I remember that, Jim Boy, then we'd all start thinking, well, what if it, all of a sudden you start thinking of different scenarios where that rule's not going to apply or it's going to be skewed upon.
Yeah. That's why I always appreciated Coach Mason, Ken Mason. He would look at it as, how can someone construe this rule the wrong way to use it the wrong way? And I always appreciated that thought process of, not just looking at it one way, but how can someone use it the wrong manner?
Right. How can they use it to their benefit by skirting around the rule or using the rule to skirt around another rule? So.
Yeah.
But
well,
them boys did nothing wrong.
No. Right? Well, it wasn't on them. It was a clerical error on the bookkeeping side. It wasn't the I feel now that you've explained it, yeah, both those guys, Lucchese was considered in. He doesn't need to be kicked out. It makes sense why they're both there now, and now they both got a shot. Unfortunately, Cole doesn't, Pro Fantasy Points doesn't get to compete for that, but he's competing at $29,000 a night, 70-some thousand for an average, and to walk out, he's got a shot to walk out as the average champion of the National Finals Rodeo. And like I say, that's anybody that rodeos when you start out. The NFR is your goal, and to get to go down that tunnel and climb on the back of those chutes for all those guys competing is awesome. So,
Well, you guys, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark, which seriously, that was an awesome kickoff. Really, really good first guest. We did not. I didn't do a real good job promoting it, so I have to apologize for that. But we were
locked in.
Yeah, we were a little unsure. We thought it was going to happen. We didn't know for sure. So, and I got to apologize for our streaming there at the beginning. I'll try to get with StreamYard and see what I need to do on my end to make sure that connection stays where it is.
Maybe you need to go on top of Casper Mountain.
Yes, something. I will say again, this is our 3rd season, and we've been kind of talking behind the scenes about, like, I was supposed to be in Vegas this year. Some things happened. We couldn't make it work. Jim Boy's going to be there, comes home tomorrow, so he's going to miss our broadcast in the morning. That might be good. You be careful tonight so you don't miss your plane. You miss your flight, you better be on our call because I want to see it.
Do what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, if you miss the flight, just get on
Be on here because we got real good stories, I'm sure. But listen, if you guys are watching and you have a company that might be interested in partnering with us, with the NFR Hangover and Bullfrog Creatives, please reach out to any of the three of us and we can make that work. There are some sponsorship opportunities. And while I'm at it, let me give a shout out. Lots of buttons, so hold tight here. I'm going to give a shout out to CeeLo Cinches. They actually are a local, well, they're not really local to Wyoming, but local to South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana area. They make mohair cinches and breast collars. So we want to give a shout out to them. They are a partner for this year, adding all the buttons. And then, of course, we also have Cinch Jeans and Shirts, who make all of us look good. They are a partner of Bullfrog Creatives and have been for many years now, and we're grateful for their support. So again, if you guys are interested in partnering with us, please do so. I know Tony and Jim Boy, you guys all take time out of your busy schedules. We want to thank Garden City Community College for allowing, well, just to give a shout out, but we know you're doing it on your work time. What's that?
I put in a trip request to come out here for recruiting, professional development.
Yes, I think that's legit.
I've got my pamphlets here with me.
There you go.
My Bronx school back there underneath Jalen's poster. So.
All right. So you guys are at the convention today. When's the last day convention? Today?
It goes through tomorrow to about noon, but we're checking out in the morning. I was told, like, for what I'm here for, what Jalen's here for, to try to get some jobs, it's pretty much after today. It's, they said Wednesday morning there's not much traffic through here. Or Thursday morning. What is that? Yeah, Thursday. What is today?
What is today?
Jim Boy, is it daytime?
Did y'all see my picture I sent y'all a while ago?
Oh, yeah. That looked, yeah.
Well, about what time was that picture taken?
It was late.
Or early.
Yeah. It depends on what you consider late or early, for sure.
Well, so we're not 100% certain. We're still kind of tying up some guests for the week. Sounds like Casey would be interested in coming back on later in the week. That would be great. I will add, too, again, if you guys are putting together a team, I'm a rookie at this. It's been going on for 19 years. This is the first time I'm put a team in.
Come on, Heidi.
It's because I am cheap. That's a lot of money for me to drop. So I did, and I'm totally writing it off as a business expense for Bullfrog Creative. So there you go.
I love it.
Anyways, so if you are going to put a team in, jump onto the NFR Hangover League. I know there's tons of leagues, but we would love to have you guys in ours. We're going to talk about, standings every day when we do our wrap-up, our round wrap-ups. And then we also will have working on some other partnerships to give you guys some go-around winner awards. We'll do the best that we can.
And we need 10 to give the buckle away. We've got 9 right now, so I know we're going to get 10, but the more we get, the more we can spread out the go-around wins, unless you just got a team that dominates, and that means you're winning the whole deal and you're going to get a truck out of the deal. But you know what? Yeah, this is awesome. But you know what? I'm excited about season 3. I'm honored and privileged to be on here with both you. Jim, well, you're double fisting coffee this morning. That's impressive. That means it was a really, really good night. And I'm excited about this season. And what I love is, you know what? I went from having to being on West Coast 8 o'clock. I'm an hour later. I'm in Texas, Stephenville. We're at 10 o'clock. So it's really good. America. Yeah, it's nice to be in America finally, out of California. So I got family and friends, love them. It's, it's where my roots are, but this is where home is now. God, family, country are important. I'm in a place where my daughter's thriving and growing. My wife is happy, and like they say, happy wife, happy life. And so, hey, I'm smiling, even though the wind was, blowing yesterday. It was like,
Listen, you can't complain about it being cold.
It's not. No, it was only 22 degrees when I ran this morning. Only 22.
It was 8 this morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't run in 8-degree weather. No way. So, but you know what, you guys, this is going to be fun. We're going to have some great guests. And like I said, I think the show's going to build and keep growing. And like Heidi said, anybody out there, we are looking for people to join us on this adventure. It's going to be fun. And don't miss out. You want to be at the ground floor. You don't want to wait till we ascend clear to the top, because by then, the elevator will be full. Not really. We'll take anybody.
Yeah, right. We're not picky.
Not at all.
All right, you guys, we'll see. Well, Jim Boy, have a safe flight home. And Tony, we will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk about predictions. We're going to talk about what we're looking for in the next 12 plus days, and what we hope to see. And Jim Boy, you want to email us your predictions or what?
Yeah, I'll send you something.
Okay.
But
Jim Boy's prediction: somebody in the top 15 is going to win the world in every event. That's Jim Boy's prediction.
There's still time to buy a team after that show, so I don't know if I want everybody to know it, but I'm a hell of a recruiter. It's just paying them enough money to get them here.
That is true. That's true. You can put one team in now, and then you can do the daily, or you can get in at halftime, which is a good idea. Oh, looks like we lost Jim Boy.
And Jim Boy gone.
And he's out.
And he's back.
Oh, wait, he's back.
Well, somebody's trying to call me. Apparently, they're not watching the show.
Clearly, you're going to have a talk with them.
That's
all right, you guys. Oh, we will catch you tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss. We're going to start our predictions tomorrow, and then we'll see you every morning, 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, from now till December 12th. All right. You guys have a good day.
All right. You too, Heidi. Thank you.
See y'all.
Bye.